You're wasting sets, not because you're lazy, because you're training the wrong signal. What's going on, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what you should actually be focusing on in the gym as a Looksmaxxer. Also, I post similar videos like this on gym content and just overall Looksmaxxing, and I plan to post some gym content in the future, so subscribe if you want to see videos like these, and let's go on and get with the video. So first off, you need to properly define your goals, and you need to be honest with yourself, because you can't optimize your body for powerlifting and looking good at the same time. So it's better that you choose the style that is most efficient for your goals. So if you're primarily Looksmaxxing, right, which in my opinion is the better ROI for most people, you need to focus on the appearance and the signaling of your physique. So how strong you look at a glance, right? Not the total on a barbell. So powerlifting training is about numbers, so squat, bench, deadlift totals, and that style burns recovery and inflates your joints. It doesn't really improve your physique as much as aesthetic focused training, right? So with Looksmaxxing, you're going to be having low ego, you're going to be targeting the aesthetic hypertrophy and targeting the strength cues. You're going to be more aesthetic, and you're going to have less systemic fatigue, right? And better long-term health. The only trade-off is you're not going to have as much strength as someone who powerlifts. That's the only downside. But with powerlifting, you do a lot of run racks, rep testing, a lot of heavy sets, like 5 reps and under, deadlifts, a lot of heavy ego adjacent lifting. The pros are you get better neural strength, and the cons are massive recovery costs, joint mileage, higher injury odds, and a blockier waist. So I think the answer is pretty clear, but decide for yourself. And if your goal is powerlifting and doing that type of training, then this video isn't for you. If you're looking for Looksmaxxing focused training, then ready to optimize every part of your training dedicated to Looksmaxxing, this video is for you. So the most important thing to focus on is your perceived upper body strength, which accounts for 70% of your attractiveness for your body. So what is perceived upper body strength? Perceived upper body strength includes a thick neck circumference, which is a part of your upper body. So this is going to frame your face well. It's going to signal dominance, and it's going to make you very much more attractive. Broad shoulder width, high shoulder to waist ratio. So having a upper body relative to your waist, broad chest to high chest to waist ratio. So having a chest bigger than your waist, muscular arms, not as important as these three right here, and being lean, 12 to 15% body fat to sew the muscle in, to highlight the V-taper, which boosts the upper body strength cue. And there is no drop off. The more perceived strong you are, the better, within the natural ranges, obviously, because if you're past a certain FFMI, it starts getting less attractive. So what perceived upper body strength is not? So 1 max rep, that's pretty much cope. Lower body mass, that's cope. Extreme leanness, this is going to do nothing but show your muscles more, and it's not attractive for many. Bulk scale weight, so this is just going to add fat and blur your perceived strength, right? Vascularity, this is just cope. Ego lifting. So these are all examples of what not upper body strength is, and these are. So your number one focus in the gym, they should be training your neck, your shoulders, and your chest and your back with. So neck circumference, which is a underrated upper body strength cue. You want to be doing neck extension, flexion, left and right laterals, preferably in the 12 to 20 rep range. A few sets a week. You want to be doing one extension day, preferably on your pull day if you're doing pull, and then second day of the week you should be doing flexion, right? And then left and right you do both days of the week, so preferably at least 2 times, which I do. So shoulder width, lateral raises, overhead pressing, and pressing compounds. You want to be hammering your shoulders as much as possible, and one tip is to do lateral raises in your early workouts so you can hammer them first. Upper chest, overall chest, do 30-degree bench pressing, pec isolation, back and lat width to highlight the V-taper. Do chin-ups, pull-downs, and lat-based rows. I recommend chin-ups because you get the same EMG as pull-ups, which is high, and you also work your arms, so it's just an extra bonus. Rep ranges, I do 6 to 12 for compounds. I do 8 to 12 reps for isolation. Second focus should be on your forearms. Why do they matter? Because your arms are always visible, and women rate biceps and triceps among the most top preferred muscles for size. So biceps, you should be focusing on your arm peak and length. Do curls like preacher and incline to hit the long and short head. Triceps, you hammer long head, and your lateral and medial heads are less important. They're hit indirectly a lot, so you can do some isolation for that if you want. Forearms, you do hammer curls and brisk curling and static grip work. Again, isolation, 8 to 12. Number 3 should be your waist and your leanness. So a smaller waist amplifies the shoulder to waist ratio, which is a strong predictor of perceived strength, right? Fat or oblique overgrowth kills the taper illusion, so you never want to get excessively fat or hypertrophy your obliques because it's going to make your physique less aesthetic. Stay ideally 12 to 15% body fat. If you start creeping above this range, then you start blurring your muscles, which reduces the perceived strength. So you can cut using these methods and just lean bulk, try to stay within this range. On lower body, don't neglect this, but don't overinvest in this area because balanced legs prevent the top heavy look, right? And it's going to help your stability and posture and overall athleticism. So you should aim to keep it tight, not really overinvest. I do a squat or a leg press day once a week, and I do one Romanian deadlift day. And I find it that my legs pretty much stay balanced with this regimen. So I also do seated and standing calf raises. And I find that that's pretty much the effective range where I don't neglect it, but I don't overinvest. Final takeaway, the goal isn't strength, but to signal strength. And that's what the study finds most attractive. Looks equals leverage, so optimize what people actually perceive, and that's the highest return on investment. Your energy is finite, so don't waste it doing a lot of access movements that don't really boost your signaling. Don't focus heavily on things that are less important. You should be mainly hammering your upper body, right? And then focusing on the things in order, like your upper body, your arms, and then your waist. So that should be your main priority, not doing things that don't really signal the attractiveness. So also don't bulk for the scale because you should be bulking for the ratios because the shape mogs size always. And what I mean by that is if you have a better ratio, it's always going to look better than someone who's bulkier but has a ratio that is bad for a shoulder to waist ratio. So that's the key takeaway, and I have one quote here that says, work smarter and harder. That's my training philosophy. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you like this video and like it. I'm going to be posting similar content to this, so hope you guys have a nice day. Peace out.